So PartyGate. I feel like I talk about this every week, at least once or twice. 30 letters in, I believe, at the last count. People are actually asking other MPs to hold back because they're worried that if they reach the 54 too quickly, the candidates that want to go for the leadership won't have their campaigns and backers ready. So it's both entirely possible that we will see a vote of no confidence next week, and simultaneously entirely possible that it will be delayed for a little while longer. Mm-hmm. Where do you see this going in the next few days?
I think it's probably not going to happen as quick as it should. But I also think it's a really complicated situation because people like you and I that are immersed in it, I think we have a good read on the situation with the fact that there is nobody in that party that is up to snuff with replacing Boris Johnson. I mean, and by that I mean doing a quality job, because let's be honest, I could put this bottle in the Houses of Parliament and it'd do a better job than Boris Johnson. But there's nobody in the party that stands the job of weathering the scrutiny of the person after Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how that's going to play out, because the issue is there's this gut feeling inside me. Anybody that's watched your podcast will know, or anybody that's read anything that I've written recently will know, like Partygate on a personal level has made me hate this man viscerally. But my God, if he's not good for damaging the Tory party. And so as much as I'm like, you're a piece of shit, get out of power, and certainly because like his leadership is causing real serious harm to people, to human beings every single day, I also don't necessarily want it yet, because I don't want people to think, slap a different coat of paint on the Tory party, they're fine. And it's like, they're still all there. It's still the same sharks. You just can't see them now because the fucking light of Boris Johnson's bulb head's gone out.
Yeah. I saw a few tweets. It was a couple of weeks ago where somebody was saying, like, is Boris Johnson still an electoral asset? And the person replied back, like, yeah, to Labour. like a gif of everyone laughing, like, underneath it. I was like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of, that's where we're at. And as you mentioned a minute ago, he's really good for Labour at the moment, and it works incredibly well for anyone that's trying to progress the cause of tactical voting, ejecting Tories from power, not even necessarily working towards a Labour majority, but just trying to get some sort of coalition in power that can start fixing some of the fucking mess that they've created. To have Boris Johnson still in number 10 when we come round to another general election is, frankly, kind of a bit of a wet dream for the left.
A little bit. I think when it comes to tactical voting in particular, I've been having a lot of discussions about it, because I went from kind of ambivalence towards tactical voting because I'm lucky enough to live in the Labour area to realise how beneficial it would be to the cause of the left.
Yeah.
Especially because, I've always considered myself like a patient lefty, like a patient far lefty. My like ideal politics is way further left than a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
So I know that tactical voting is perfect for me because I will, in the long run, be heard. But turning around to somebody else who is a Labour voter and saying, you're going to have to vote Lib Dem and they're going to get in, might be a bit of a gut punch. But it's also, people have to stop thinking in short term about politics. And that's what drives me insane. Because if you look at what the Tory party have been doing and are doing and will be doing, they have the long game in their sights. They know that they can disenfranchise enough people from voting against them that they'll maintain power. They know that they can put people off of standing up against them by stopping people protesting. And then it seems like the country's happy because nobody's protesting, but you can't if it's illegal. So it's short-term pain for long-term gain. Sure, you might have a representative that isn't your ideal lefty party, but it's a left-wing person. And then we get a broad coalition. We move forward with politics, we diversify it, we get a different voting system in because FPTP's shite, to coin one of my dad's favourite words. And then we'll actually have the democracy that we live in instead of this sham democracy that I've been talking about all day.
Yeah. I mean, my fear is that if we continue down this road, where Boris Johnson is this sort of, supposed electoral asset, right? Let's say we get up to the next general election. At the moment, they are 11 points behind. Boris Johnson is ferociously unpopular, getting booed on the way into the Jubilee thing today. Fucking hilarious. What I worry about and perhaps I could get your thoughts on this, is where he's at now, right? On the tail end of Partygate and the tail end of the pandemic, we hope. What's the public's perception going to be of him in a year's time when all of this has kind of faded out a little bit? Patterson / second jobs, all of that's kind of faded out a little bit. We're in a situation where like the journo political machine really goes into overdrive exactly the same way as it did with when it was like Jeremy Corbyn and Theresa May or Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson. Once they get in there and they start funneling out the lies, the misrepresentations, it's on the cover of every single newspaper. Like, I really worry that 11-point lead will collapse down to like best case scenario 2-point lead or a 3-point lead, and then just at the ballot box we fucking lose it. Like, I don't know what that'll do to me psychologically if the Tories are in for like another 5 years.